How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be unboxing Skeletor from the Revelation line, and I left him for last just because I am a big fan of Skeletor and his humor and just his diabolical intent and epic failures. The comedy of Skeletor is really awesome in his villainy, and I'm excited to get him out of the box and check him out as my final figure from Wave 1 of the Masters of the Universe Revelation line from the new Netflix series coming out this week. So quickly, Evil Lord of Destruction. Take a look at the beautiful artwork, because that's what this is all about ultimately, the artists that help inspire. Take a second and pause that and read Skeletor's bio. He looks most awesome there. And I really love this piece here. That is absolutely stunning. All right, let's go ahead and get him out of the box. All right, we've got Skeletor out of the package. And as soon as I removed them, I was immediately taken by the soft goods cape. I have been intentionally avoiding all of our favorite YouTubers and their reviews of the figures because I wanted to have a genuine reaction when I got them out of the package. These really are instances of me looking at these figures for the first time, and that's a big part of it for me, right? The discovery and just that initial interaction with the action figure, right? So I've been dodging it. So I am corrected. You know, in my Skelegod video, I said that Skelegod was the only figure in the wave that had soft goods, and I was wrong. Skeletor also has a purple cape. It is far less, ornate than Skelegod's cape, but that's okay. We have a little bit of a wave or here at the bottom. Instead of it being tattered like Skelegod's, it's a little bit more styled, if you will. Very nice, also very soft. And the other side, very cool, very cool. While we're here, let's just look at the back of his chest armor. Does this separate here? Yep, it does. It's a different mechanism. Interesting. Instead of it being belt straps, it is a circular peg. And there are layers that get attached to that peg. I'm not going to take it off, but this is the peg that I'm referencing. And those are the layers. That's cool. Nice beans. Nice beans. Cool beans and nice beans. I like beans. I like different kinds of beans. Pinto beans, red beans, black beans, green peas. I like different beans. All right. Skeletor comes with the Havoc Staff, which is beefy. Give me that. It is thick, and it took me a minute to get it into his hand. That is one beefy, heavy Havoc Staff. So much so that it twisted his wrist when I had it extended. It is extremely detailed. This thing is really very nice. Skeletor also comes with this interesting scepter, right? And for those of you that are familiar with the cartoon, the original cartoons, this is the shaping staff. And the shaping staff has unique properties. It can make people disappear. It can transform people in their appearance. It can transform things. So it's very, very interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, we also see this in the new trailer. You know, so that's very interesting. And it comes with Skeletor here, whereas in the original 80s cartoon, it was Majestra, who was actually Evil Lyn. And she was tricking the king, and she infiltrated the castle and used the shaping stone to wreak all kinds of havoc. Faker was involved, and Skeletor, and all kinds of stuff, but it was a lot of mayhem. Good episode, good episode. Check it out if you can. So Skeletor comes with his Havoc staff and additionally the shaping staff. He comes with this extra hand, which if you recall initially, and I'll do an insert, there was a lot of talk about Skeletor's karate chop hand, right? And that hand was a very straight hand, whereas this one has a little kind of curve in the fingers. It was a very straight hand, and it also had a giant thumb. It seems that they've changed the design, and they've gone with a slightly curved hand, but they still have that giant thumb, and I don't really know what's up with that. You know, is it intended for Skeletor to kind of like just yoke people up and choke them up, like, you know? I'm not sure. Or is it for an accessory at some point? Maybe something that he holds in his hand, an orb or a sphere of some kind? We shall see. Or is it just a complete and total goof, you know, in design? You know, like an accident. Which I don't really know how true that is, because the figures so far, all of them are just stellar in the way they're designed and their art. So who knows? Could have been a mistake. Who knows? All right, so let's put the accessories aside and let's take a look at our buddy Skeletor. All right, and as always, I have to go ahead and put every warrior into the iconic pose just to see where they're at, aesthetically, design-wise, their proportions, and just simply, can they articulate and nail the iconic pose? Here we have Skeletor with the Havoc staff, and he's hitting the iconic pose, looking pretty tough doing it. Could you imagine if he were to take a step back into a back leg heavy position? Let's go ahead and do that. Boom. Back foot heavy and ready to swing the Havoc staff and bring it down. Whew. How awesome doesn't he look? Wow. Skeletor looks awesome. All right, let's talk about how we got him here. Let's look at articulation in action, in play, of course, because that's what makes it fun. Before we talk about his points of articulation, the Havoc staff fits a lot better in this right hand, which has a larger grip and an open index finger, which allows for the Havoc staff to have some wiggle at the end. So I believe that this hand is for a sword, because he doesn't come with his purple sword, so that's of note and interesting. So I think that this will be for a power sword at some point if he acquires it in this new adventure. And I believe that this right hand is more appropriate for this beastie, meaty Havoc staff. The Havoc staff with the interesting silhouette. So how did I get our friend Skeletor into those series of poses? Well, some great articulation here at the ankle. Look at that. That is some great reach. The double jointed knee. Some use of the cut at the thigh. And some use of the hinge. Some use of his wrist hinges. The double jointed elbow. And some use of the rotation and hinge in the shoulders. Skeletor taking a look at us, flexing those muscles. Really nice. The shoulder armor does not encumber him because it is soft. So he's got the rotation at the hip, and he's got this swivel up, cut under the chest. Unlike He-Man, he has some really cool detailing in the chest armor. So the loincloth is pretty standard. It's some like a faux leather, a faux black leather. He's got a purple molded belt. He's got his purple molded shin guards with a cut for rotation. And now the armor itself, and we're going to talk about this enormous thumb, but the armor itself is extremely ornate. Let's go ahead and there we go. Look at that. So you've got two-tone purple This is a layer on top of a belt, or an X-style belt. And then there is the cape that wraps around the neck peg. We have a purple painted stone. Bring the armor piece down, and you see that it gives us the crossbones. Cool stuff. I'm just impressed that there's like so many layers in his armor. That's really nice. And the cape isn't attached via magnets, it's wrapped around, so that's cool. The shoulder, we see he's got those rivets for a little extra detailing. Of course, he's got the feathering or whatever this is on his forearms. I never really knew what those things were called. And he wants you. Look at the size of my thumb. Why is it like this? Why? I don't really know. I do know that they changed the karate chop hand though. So maybe they listened to the feedback, because that thing was freaking people out. Here we've got a quick look at Skeletor wearing a golden skull from the Classics Castle Grayskull. The castle comes with 2 golden skulls at the top of the elevator shaft, and they fit perfectly on the Revelations figures. I just thought of trying that out really quickly, and I'm fascinated by the fact that they fit perfectly on Revelations figures. You hear that snap? That's a perfect fit. Interesting. Here we have a possible glimpse into a pivotal moment in the upcoming series. We've got He-Man squared off against Skeletor. Skeletor holding out the shaping staff and pointing it towards He-Man. I highly encourage you to see the 80s TV show. I think it's episode 19, so you can see the powers of the shaping stone. But if I had to kind of like guess what might happen, what might trigger things in Revelation, the catalyst of everything, I think the shaping stone is going to be used to infiltrate Castle Grayskull. I think they're going to send He-Man on an adventure through time and space and dimensions. And I think that's going to be part of the beginnings of a new heroic tale. And I think that's really cool, because it just continues to show how heavily the new series is influenced by the long-standing tradition of about 4 decades. You know, so really cool. I snapped a still shot of this. Let's go ahead and do a lineup of some figures and put Skeletor in some good company. Lining our figures up, Skeletor front and center. I'll go ahead and bring out Skelegod next. And I'm going to pose Skelegod sort of behind Skeletor. I don't know why. Next, I'm going to bring out my Filmation Skeletor. Put him right there. I'll bring out my Mythic Legions Celtus. MOTU PowerCon Tribute by the 4 Horsemen. And I'll put him right there. I'm going to bring out Faker, because if we're going to talk about the shaping staff and all the stuff that is probably or might go down in the new show, we're going to have to include Faker in all this. So I've got my Classics Faker hanging out with the crew. And I'll bring out my Origins Skeletor, still in the box. I got to take him out and check him out. Really a big fan of Skeletor, as you can see. And last but not least for today, I'll bring out my Rumble Society Cyber Rider. And I'll put this guy right over there with Faker. That little guy is too cool. He deserves a review of his own, that little cyber rider. As always, everybody, I have a great time sharing the experiences of collecting toys as an adult. I hope you're able to come back and share some experiences too. Until next time, take care, everybody.